Welcome to another episode of 17 Hats, Hats Off podcast, where we talk unfiltered, raw business journeys and advice. I'm Amanda Ray, your host, also the CEO of 17 Hats. And today we are talking about 2024. You know, it seems like just yesterday we were planning for 2023. Now we are in December. We are looking forward to the next month, which is the next year. And you know, for a lot of people, a new year means a good time to reset, rethink, redream, replan, set new goals, all of that. I mean, I would like to say that like it doesn't ever have to be, you don't have to wait to the new year to do it. That's, I think, one of the common misconceptions. Everybody's like, I'm going to wait to the new year and I'm going to replan and reset these goals. And it's like, why? You should be doing this like now. You should be doing this every quarter. You should be doing this you know, anytime you feel like you need to do this, you should do it. If you feel lost or you feel like you're not making the progress that you need to make. But with that being said, with the new year right upon us, if you haven't taken the time to reset, look back, look back and evaluate your last quarter, your last year, now is the perfect time to do that. So I'm going to walk you through an exercise. I hope that you do it because it's so, I think, important to do. But I'm going to walk you through an exercise to kind of help you if you are planning for the 2024 year, that you can do to help you plan maybe just a little bit better. Cool. So that's the first thing. We're going to just walk through this. I'm going to kind of do it a little bit with you. And let's just, kind of get ready for the new year. I think one of the things people do when they start to plan for the new year is they forget to look at where they're at right now and look back at what they actually did, right? So they're thinking about all these goals for 2024 without saying, where am I now? What am I doing now? How many clients do I have now? And most importantly, do I like what I'm doing now? Because a lot of people don't even like what they're doing now, right? But they just, because they're in this rabbit or this hamster wheel, right? They just keep going and going and going, and it's almost too fearful to change. Or maybe they don't like what they're doing now, but they don't really know what they don't like about it, right? So step number one is just to assess your last year. So I want you to, I love to work with these like calendars. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see that. There we go. I like to like print out these just sheet calendars. You just go to Google and type in like 2024 yearly view calendar, right? I love these calendars because I just have two things to look at. I'm going to have my 2023 calendar and I'm going to have my 2024 calendar. And there's two sheets. I don't have a million sheets to look at. I'm not overcomplicating it by flipping through spreadsheets. It's just two sheets, right? It makes it super, super simple. But I like to print out my 2023 calendar first. And I like to look at each month and think about, in the month of January, how many leads did I get in? How many clients did I get in? And how much money did I make for that month? Right. And if you're in 17 Hats, you can go to your reporting and pull some of this information, which is really easy. But I like to do that for every month. How much money did I pull in every month? Maybe you don't know the number of leads. That's fine. It's okay. But like, how many clients did you take? Did you take 2 clients, 5 clients, 10 clients? Right. For some businesses, you're going to see that there's a seasonality in your business. Maybe you're super busy in the beginning of the year, and then you're not as busy in the summer, and then you pick back up and you're really heavy in the fall. So it's really interesting to look at how many clients did you take each month of each year and how much money did you bring in those months, right? So that's like step number one. Step number two, once you know how many clients you had each month of last year, is I want you to put those clients in your revenue streams. So some people get really confused by revenue streams, but revenue streams are like your big buckets of money. So because we have a lot of photographers listening, photography is probably the easiest. Your revenue streams are going to be wedding portraits, wedding sessions, and then engagement portraits and high school senior portraits and family portraits. So it's kind of by genre, really simple. If you only do newborns, then you just have one revenue stream. But maybe if you do newborns and you do in-studio newborns and then you do in-home newborns, that might be 2 revenue streams. Okay. So like don't overcomplicate it. Think of like your big buckets of what you are selling. Okay. If you are a event planner, right? Your buckets might be commercial work or like big business work. And then your next bucket might be weddings, and your next bucket might be birthday parties. So corporate weddings, birthday parties, that might be yours. That's also feasible for like balloon artists, cake decorators, food trucks, like anybody who serves kind of those 3 buckets, right? It might be those 3 buckets that are your revenue streams. DJs as well could be that. Trying to think of another. If you're a doula, we have a lot of doulas on 17 Hats platform. If you're a doula, maybe it is the actual birthing portion, right? Maybe it is everything leading up to birth, right? So you have to think about where are your big buckets of money coming from, and don't make it too complicated. Like if you're stressing about it, don't worry about it. This isn't the nitty gritty. This isn't every service that you sell. Okay. Because inside of, let's say, balloon artist, I might service corporate parties, but inside of that corporate party, I have 3 different packages. Those 3 different packages are not your revenue streams. Okay. But servicing corporate world is. Okay. So just think about it. But what you want to do, you want to go back to your 2023 calendar. And for every client, you want to look at, I had 1 corporate client, I had 3 birthday parties, I had 2 weddings. You want to put how many clients you had in each revenue per month. Because what happens when you do this is you start to see even more seasonality. You might see that in January, February, you did one type of revenue stream a lot. And then come in the summer, you do another revenue stream a lot. And then you come in the fall and maybe another revenue stream becomes more popular. So this is really important because this plays into your marketing for 2024. If you find that you're having seasonality in your revenue streams, then you have to play that up in your marketing. So let's say in the summertime, for all of you in the wedding industry, you see more weddings. Well, then you need to start, marketing those. When do you need to start marketing those weddings? It gives you a really good idea. Okay. So seasonality is important to understand in your business. So for your 2023 calendar, I want you to think about for every month, how many clients you had, how many leads, if you know that number, how much money you made, and what percentage of that money came from what revenue stream. Because even when you look at the percentages, if you made $100 and half of that came from one revenue stream, that's your most important revenue stream, right? And then you can also see maybe there's a revenue stream that's not bringing in any money. So maybe you're offering something and it's on your website and you're advertising it, but it's nowhere to be found on your calendar. And if that's true for 2023, you either need to say, I'm done with it. I'm not doing it because this is like time suck in marketing and really important website space and just get rid of it. Or you need to make the decision to really go after it, right? So if you're seeing a revenue stream that you offer nowhere's there, it's decision time. So this gives you a lot of really good insight of what is happening in your business. So clients, leads, the amount of money, how much revenue stream, what revenue streams per month, super, super important. And then you can, like I said, you can also look at for your month, the money that, what percentage each revenue stream is bringing in financially. Okay. The last thing I want you to look for 2023 was there something that was a time suck? So a time suck. So this is a revenue stream that takes so much time to do and so much time to prepare for and is such a headache, but you still do it. You don't necessarily like doing it and you're not making a lot of money from it. Okay, you're not making a lot of money from it. This is such a common issue with solopreneurs, especially solopreneurs just starting out that want to do everything, right? There's that one revenue stream that just sucks your time and it's not financially worth it. So when you look at your numbers, think about, is there a time suck? You might not have a time suck. That's okay. You might have one. And if you do, it's important to know that it's there so you can make some decisions around it. And then from this, you can also think about like, what is your best revenue stream, right? What are you making the most money at? What takes you the least amount of time to do, but gives you the most money, right? Because time is number one most valuable thing you have. Your time holds the highest value. So if everything is just really like weighing you down and sucking your time and you're not making good money from it, that's an issue. So what are you making the most money from with not as much time? Cool. So that's another thing you can look at when looking at the calendar. One of the last things that you can take a look at is, is there a revenue stream that if you just tightened up the processes, if you just like spend some time on getting your workflow in 17 hats, getting your automation done, getting your shit together for that revenue stream, that you would be able to bullet that out to do so much better, to scale that revenue stream, gain more clients, make more money just by investing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours into it, right? Because sometimes you want to take on new clients, but you can't because you don't have the time. And if that is the case for one of your revenue streams, that's when you need to invest in your processes and in your automation. So think about that. What revenue stream, if you just tightened it up, if you just automated it, got that process down, streamlined it, did what you need to do, you would be able to take, a quarter more clients. Because that's a lot of money to the bottom line if you can do that. Okay. So that's some things that you can think about when assessing 2023. I also want you to assess, just like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you love your business? This is a super important question. Scale of 1 to 10, how much did you love your business? Did you like love every minute of it? Was it just chaos and frustration? Did you miss out on family time? So that was stressful. Was it just hard, or did you just like enjoy it all? Did you have ups and downs? Like sit with that question for 20 or 30 minutes, because usually there's like a gut reaction, and that gut reaction can come from whatever you did last week. So you want to ignore that. But you want to sit with it and really think back through the whole year. And it's nice to do it after you kind of laid everything out on your calendar. And really look back through the whole year and go, how was it? How was my health? How was my relationships with my family? How was my relationship with myself? How was just my mental status, right? Was I frantic all the time, or was I loving life? Did I get free time? Did I not? Was I on a high and loved every minute of it, or was I on a low and just bitched about every minute of it? So assess just how you are in your business and how you are with the people around you as well, because that plays a factor. That needs to play a factor in 2024. Okay. So that's kind of the last thing to do with 2023. So when you do all of that, I want you to print out a 2024 calendar, just this sheet page, a calendar, nothing fancy. You don't need to go make a whole document or anything. Just, again, Google 2024 yearly layout calendar, print it out. So one of the things that I love to do first is I love to grab like 5 highlighters. So I love highlighters. They're like my favorite thing in the world. I love everything about buying new pens and markers. Random fact about me. I think it's my past teacher in me. But grab 5 highlighters. And the first thing that I want you to do for 2024 planning is I really want you to just take one highlighter, and what you're going to do. So this is going to be my yellow one, is going to be my holiday family time highlighter. Holiday family time highlighter. And so I'm going to go through it, and I am going to do an X if I'm taking off a full day, and I'm going to do just one slash, so one diagonal if I'm taking off a half day. So what I'm doing is like January 1st, New Year's Day, I'm taking off that whole day. And so that's an X. Then I'm going down. My kids typically have Martin Luther King Day off. I think that's the 15th. So I'm taking off that day. That's an X. If it's not the 15th, I apologize. I think it's the 15th. It's either the 15th or the 22nd, one of those. But that's an X. Valentine's Day, taking off a half day. My daughter's birthday is the 15th, so I'm taking off the full day. So I have the diagonal slash for a half day, a full X for the half day. So as I'm going through thinking about my children's spring break, if we're taking a vacation, thinking about if I'm taking a vacation in the summer, it doesn't matter when it is. Does that make sense? If I know I'm going to take a 4-day vacation in the summer, I'm just going to put that anywhere in the summer. It doesn't mean that I'm actually taking those days. Does everybody get that? So if I'm going to take a vacation, I'm going to go ahead and just like mark through that week of vacation. 4th of July, I'm off that day. The first day my kids go to school, I typically take off that day to get them to school and just kind of chill and be with them when they get back, right? For us, we celebrate Christmas, so we're taking off Christmas. I'm taking off New Year's Eve. So I'm doing this, looking at all of this. Halloween, I typically take off a half day. My stepson's birthday, I'm taking off a half day or a full day there to get ready. So you can see very quickly how the calendar starts to shrink, right? So all of the family time, I know I've marked off 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days right there that are out due to just personal stuff or holidays, right? Completely out. So then once I have my family time marked off, I'm going to go into you time. You need you time. Okay. Absolutely. You need you time. So I kind of take me time at the end of the quarter. I might take like a half day on a Friday every end of quarter. That's just for me. So I'm going in and putting those marks down. On Christmas or Christmas time, I usually take like a full day off at some point to go shopping during the week. So I'm going to put X out that day. I know because I had cancer, I got to go into the doctor every month. I know I will miss about a full day of work throughout the year for just doctor's appointments, maybe even 2 days of work throughout the year for doctor's appointments. So I'm just going to mark like 2 random days on the calendar. It doesn't matter when. I'm just going to go ahead at the end of the year and just mark those off and just remove those 2 days. So I am putting all of those kind of times that I know that I'm going to be taking off. Okay. Whether it's doctor's appointments, health, workouts, whatever, right? I'm just going to mark that off. I work out 2 days a week for an hour a day, after work. So I don't have to worry about that. So you're another calendar for you time. So right now I have added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days have now been eliminated from my calendar for work. The next thing I want to think about for my next highlighter are days that I'm closed. So when you think about your business, okay, I want you to mark off days that you're closed. So if you do not work Saturdays and Sundays, I want you to remove them from your calendar. If you work Saturdays and Sundays and maybe you do not work on Monday, remove it from your calendar. So what days are you actually closed for your business? You are not working. Yes, you could choose to work if you needed to. I'm not saying you're not going to work on those days. You could choose to work on those days if you needed to. But what are the days that you shouldn't be working that you're going to say, these are the days I'm closed? Usually it's 2 days a week. So is it Saturday, Sunday? Some people do, if you work over the weekend, some people will do Monday, Tuesdays. So what are those 2 days? And some of those days, depending on which days you choose, might overlap with other things that you have planned, already marked off on your schedule. So technically here at 17 Hats, we are closed on Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm just going to go and I'm just drawing a line directly through Saturdays and Sundays and just eliminating all those days from my work week, right? Okay. Eliminate it. Done. I don't know if you can see. I don't think you can. If I try this, I don't think I'm bright enough to where you can actually see what I'm doing. I'll take a picture of it and add it somewhere. So I've eliminated days that were closed because those are days I'm not working. So then the next highlighter that I'm doing is things for my children. I know that I am probably going to volunteer at my child's school at least twice a year. Full days, half days, depending. But I'm just going to put 2 days in there somewheres at the beginning of the year and then the end of the year and just mark those off. So 2 days I'm going to volunteer at my child's school and be a part of that. And then I got to think like doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. Man, there's probably going to be at least 2 days somewheres within the year that I have to be out because they're probably going to be half days. So all the doctor's appointments, all the dentist appointments, I'm probably going to miss 2 days of work. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just populate those in somewhere. I'm just going to just X off some time right there of what's happening. Okay. So I remove that time from my calendar as well. And then the very last highlighter that we're doing is kind of the hardest one, but I'm thinking about days that I'm doing things other than dealing with clients. So other than providing my service or other than dealing with clients. So this is like blogging, networking, bookkeeping, education. So if you go to conferences, if you do any education courses online, any of that stuff that you're doing, we need to subtract that out of our calendar as well. So like I know we're going to a huge conference as a team in January. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those days out. Then I know that I go to my coaching sessions 3 times a year. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those days out. I don't know the exact days. I just know that I'm gone for usually like 4 days. Then I know for blogging, well, I don't know this, but you would know for blogging, like how many blogs do you do a year? So how long does a blog take you? So if you want to do 10 blogs and a blog is going to take you 2 hours a blog, that's 20 hours, right? So if you work 10-hour days, which some solopreneurs do, that's 2 days. 2 days that you got to mark off. Okay? Same thing with like preparing your taxes. You know that you're going to need a day to prepare your taxes. You know that you're going to need a half day or less, probably a half day just in the general of things to do your sales tax, pay your sales tax, right? So pay your sales tax every quarter. That takes an hour every quarter. That's 4 hours. That's a half day. Okay. The point of this exercise is you can see after you remove everything that's happening in your life, all the stuff that's happening in your business, um, the days that you have left to actually work with your clients is very limited. So when you have everything marked off, I want you to count how many days you actually have left to work with clients. So actually have left to work with clients. So I'm going to count mine real quick. After I added up all of my days, I have 215 work days in the year. That's not a lot. Okay. And I was even looking at it. I'm like, oh, I missed things. I missed like Labor Day, Memorial Day. Like there was definitely more days I probably could have or needed to take out. So 215 days is what I have. Okay. So if you take, and this is where it gets really interesting, and I think so important to know. So if I take 215 days, if I think about like back when I was a photographer, okay, if I took 215 days and I divided that by, let's just say one revenue stream, my high school seniors, which I did a ton of, one revenue stream. That one revenue stream, if I think about, an hour consultation, hour work for a lead, probably, about an hour work for a lead. So that's 60 minutes, plus another 60 minutes for their styling session, plus another, let's say 120 minutes for their session, plus another 30 minutes for editing, plus another 30 minutes for just administrative work, plus another, like maybe let's call it 2 hours for everything else. And then another 20 minutes for unpackaging, delivering, blah, 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 blah. That is a total of 7 hours I spent on one client. 7 hours on one client. Okay. And it's been so long that I've done that. So I don't know that those numbers are real, but they're pretty close. 7 hours on one client. So if you can think of for your revenue stream, how long you actually spend on your clients. This is such an important number to do. And you can see what I just did. I had my phone. I'm just calculating it really quickly, just giving me a really estimated time. Not forgetting about administrative time, emailing, communication, phone calls, you heard me say editing, packaging. Again, if you're a balloon artist, if you're an event planner, it doesn't matter the words that I say, you just want to get every little nuance that you do. Just add 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I typically like to do in 15-minute increments because there's so much stuff that we forget, that kind of takes care of anything that we have forgotten. So there's a lot of cushion there, but it's 7 hours per one client. So that's 7 hours. So if I take 215, which is how many days I have, and let's say I work 8-hour days, that's 1,720 hours. And I divide that by 7. That means I can take 245 clients. Okay. There's no way I'm going to take 245 clients, right? No way at all. But what this does is it starts to give you how many clients you can take. Okay. How many clients you can take. Because that number is really, really important. That number is really, really important because I know that there's no way I'm going to take 245 clients, right? I need to think about how many clients I will take, how many clients I need to take. But I also need to think about my different revenue streams. So in 2023, we looked at seasonality and I had you look at how many revenue streams are happening per month. And so if you can go in and say, okay, 50% of my clients is revenue stream 1. Revenue stream 1 takes me X number of hours to do. Revenue stream 2 is 25% of my clients. That takes me X number of hours to do. Revenue stream is number 3 is the other 25% of my clients. That takes X number of hours to do. Then you can start to get a really good makeup of your year. Because then what you can start to do is say, how many clients can I take? How many clients should I take? And if I'm wanting to make $200,000 next year, how much do I need to charge those clients? So basically, you're working backwards. You take your calendar, you eliminate all the days you're not working, right? You eliminate all the hours you're not working. You're given a total sum of hours that you can work, right? Then you're breaking that down, that data, those hours, by what you're going to spend on revenue stream. Okay. And then you're going, how many clients can I actually take? How many clients do I actually want to take? And then how much money do I need to charge them? Because a lot of times when we look at pricing, because pricing is a big thing, we look at pricing for the year, we start getting really anxious about how much should I charge? It's all mathematical. How much do you need to make? What's your expenses? How much is it that you need to make? And for every client, how much do you need to charge to get that? Right? And so when you work backwards on that, everything becomes so much easier to look at. You have determined some seasonality, hopefully, from your 2023 chart. Then you can start preparing for that seasonality for 2024. But then also you can start thinking about, okay, if there's seasonality in my revenue streams, how do I market that? When do I market it? When do I start writing blogs about things to get people in? When do I start doing Instagram or social media content for those? Right? So it really starts to, if you look at your calendar and really nail down some thoughts about when some revenue streams are more active than others. And heck, if all of your revenue streams are active all throughout the year, that's amazing, because that doesn't happen in most solopreneur world, right? So if you are like, my revenue streams are great 100% all year, that is amazing, right? Absolutely amazing. You're very fortunate. But if it isn't, you can start planning a little bit more. But my thing is that if you don't know your numbers of how many clients you can actually take in the year and how long each clients are going to take, that's a problem. I did this exercise with the solopreneur a year or so ago, and it came back that she could only take like 15 clients for the year. Like, that is legitimately how much time she had. And she's like, oh my gosh, no wonder I'm not sleeping at night. And no wonder I'm not eating well. And no wonder my health has gone to crap, because I don't have time to take the 50 clients she was taking. Right. And she was hating her business. And so what we did is we adjusted it to the 15 that she needed to take and adjusted her price for it. And now she's living a much more balanced life. Right. So by reverse engineering this, by going backwards, by assessing what you did last year, by looking at what you can do next year, putting in time for family, for friends, for you, for the holidays, for birthdays, for all of that stuff, grocery shopping, all of the stuff you have to do that isn't your business, you're going to be able to set yourself up for success. Look at your numbers, how many clients you can take, and how much you actually need to charge. So I hope this exercise helps. It's one of many exercises that I love to do at the end of the year to prepare for the next year. But this was a big one. This is an important one. So take a little bit of time, assess where you were, and then plan out your calendar for next year. So I hope it's helpful. I hope it works. Let me know if it does. Love your feedback on how you did it and how it's working for you. And we'll see how it goes. Hope for the very, very best for 2024. All right. I will see you all next week.